Hey, how y'all doing? It's July 29th, about 11 o'clock at night. I'm having trouble sleeping tonight. Just some thoughts going through my head. Um, just this Fed thing. This thing has got to happen. We have got to uncover these thieves, the guys that have robbed from us for generations now, and have gotten away with it scot free. They feel like they're above the law. They feel like that they don't have to answer to anyone. That they're their own entity. They don't have to answer to anybody. They think they're God. They think these power elite think that. I mean, they actually think they are a different species from you and I. They actually think that they are a higher life form, a more evolved form of the human species. That they look at me, you and I, like we are cavemen, that we're, you know, far beneath them. And it's their arrogance that's actually going to be their downfall. I mean, they've been dropping hints for years in magazines and newspapers. I mean, if you look at it, you can find the innuendo everywhere. Um, they've been warning us of what they want them wanting to do. They've been showing us, if you just look, they've been showing us their plan for us. You know, first they phased out gold. Used to be you could take a $5 bill to the bank and you could redeem it for a amount of gold, and now you can't do that. And they gave us the paper, trade of hand. We gave them gold, they gave us paper, for crying out loud. And now they don't even want us to have the paper. They want us to have cards with digital credits. Not, they're like stepping us down, you know. I mean, they did a gold run back in I want to say the 30s. I mean, they actually made it. If you did not turn in all your gold, and they say it was the interest of, well, yeah, it was in the 30s because they wanted us, everybody turned in their gold in the interest of pulling America out of this depression. So they took all of our gold, and then the whole depression itself was calculated by the guys on the top. If they knock the economy down, everything will be so cheap they can buy it for any price they want. The economy comes back. That stock that they just swiped up for nothing becomes a very profitable business again, and they're able to just sell it for massive profits. They've done it in a lower, smaller scale since then, but the fact of the matter is, every day they have been manipulating and playing and sticking their fingers in the stock market and contorting it to any way that works out in their favor. I mean, inside trading. It's straight up inside trading. And they've been doing it legally for years. It's just an unfair playing field. These guys are able to write a blank check and make any amount they want, leaving you and I in the dust. I'm not hating these men for what they have. It's just they shouldn't have an advantage over another man of how to get rich. We should all have the same opportunities. In this country, you can go to college, you can do all you want, you can aspire to be anything you want, but you will never reach the level of these men. You have to be born into that, and that's bull. That's it's bullcrap. There's idiots. in any bloodline. I don't care what bloodline you're from. I want to know what your IQ is. That's what impresses me. For example, George W. Bush. My gosh, if that's a pure bloodline of a superior race, Jesus, I'd rather be a caveman. But the thing is, we can do something about it. We can get these guys out of here. Just join the movement. Ron Paul, we've got so many grassroots right now, but the thing is, they're not trying to hear us in the Senate. They keep telling us to sit down, to shut up. They overrule us because it comes from Obama. It comes from the administration. It's handed down from the administration to the Senate to quiet these guys and tell them to sit down. They're not trying to hear our legislature. But if we get more of a support group, more of a grassroots, more people getting angry, more people busting down doors, more people writing letters, more people flooding the phone lines, demanding this to happen, we can get it done. And so maybe I'm falsely accusing the Fed. Maybe they've done nothing wrong. Well, let's open the books and find out. Let's honor them. Let's look at the books and see if they're on the up and up. That's all. I have questions. We all have questions. And they're too secretive with their answers. And that's why we want more transparency. Whether you believe the stories of the Illuminati and the Bilderberg Group and the Bohemian Grove, whether you think that's a conspiracy or not, the fact of the matter is, the Fed is loaning out money very irresponsibly. And if it doesn't get paid back, and if we don't get all this money back, it's on you and me, the taxpayers, back to pay it back anyway. You understand, they've loaned out $2.2 trillion to foreign banks. And if they don't get that money back, me and you have to pay it back. Me and you. The money still has to be paid back with interest. I don't think that's fair, and I don't think if you did the research and seen that, and we opened up the Fed books, I think all of us would be very teed off of what these guys are doing. So join the movement. Again, go to YouTube, Google Fed Audit, Google Alex Jones, Benjamin Fullard, Ron Paul, plenty of movies to watch, Zeitgeist, Fabled Enemies, Fahrenheit 9/11, Reflections and Warnings, Freedom to Fascism, many are great movies, and they're all on YouTube. You just type in the title and then full movie, and most of them there are right there for free, and you can watch and do your own investigation and make up your own mind. But all I'm asking you to do is to take the time and investigate. All right, guys. Have a good night.